New Zealand is a settler society, a country born out of colonisation. Was the colonisation of New Zealand a good thing or a bad thing? Many people like to ask this question. Many people will tell you that colonisation was a purely evil event. Many people will tell you that colonisation was a great thing. I reject both of these narratives. Colonisation was a complex and nuanced historical event. Colonisation was great in some ways and terrible in others. Colonisation certainly had a positive side. Slavery was abolished. Cannibalism was eliminated. Maori gained access to enormously valuable knowledge and technology. In the long term, colonisation improved the living standards of Maori massively. Western knowledge and technology enhanced Maori life massively, from medical care to food production. Colonisation had a positive side. That is an undeniable historical fact. But colonisation also had a very ugly side. Disease ravaged the Maori population, causing massive amounts of death and suffering. A huge amount of conflict and killing occurred. Maori were deprived of their sovereignty. The settlers dishonestly portrayed the Treaty of Waitangi as a cession of sovereignty when it was anything but. A huge amount of Maori land was stolen by the settlers. In the late stages of colonisation, Maori were harshly urbanised and assimilated, forced into a circumstance where they lacked the skills and knowledge required to succeed, forced into a state of marginalisation and destitution. The Maori population still faces the negative consequences of these actions to this day. Colonisation had a very ugly side. A massive amount of death and suffering occurred. Maori were deprived of their resources. Maori watched the world be torn down and rebuilt around them. Maori watched helplessly as their culture and customs began to wither and perish. Colonisation had a negative side. Do not trust anyone who tries to sell you a one-sided story of colonisation. Colonisation was not strictly good or strictly evil. Like most historical events, it was incredibly complex and nuanced. Good things happened, and terrible things happened. We must accept that reality. We must accept that colonisation was complicated. It was good in many ways, and terrible in others. Many prejudiced idiots like to speak about this issue. They think that colonisation was awesome. I do find this amusing because they constantly fearmonger about mass immigration. Colonisation was mass immigration of a very brutal variety, and yet they practically worship it. It is quite the inconsistency. Some racists seem to think that Maori should be grateful for colonisation due to the technology that they enjoy today as a result of colonisation. I find this line of argument very weird. Many racists say this as if they are somehow responsible, as if Maori should somehow be thankful towards them, when they had nothing to do with the development or promotion of this technology. And there is a lot of valuable technology that originated outside of the West. Many point out that colonisation was a net benefit, and I am inclined to agree. New Zealand is better than it would be if colonisation never occurred. But that does not excuse the dispossession, dishonesty, and authoritarianism that occurred. A net benefit does not excuse evil. If I punch someone in the face and then give them $1 million, that does not make the punch acceptable. Especially if the punch has long-lasting negative consequences, as the negative side of colonisation does. Giving a people access to new technology and knowledge does not give you the right to steal their property, violate their sovereignty, and treat them poorly. If we went to a famine-plagued African community and gave them food, that would not give us the right to seize all of their property and treat them like garbage. A net benefit does not excuse evil behaviour, especially when the consequences of that evil behaviour are still with us today, which they very much are. Colonization was a complex event. Colonization created many good things that we enjoy to this day, and colonization birthed many evils that we still struggle with today. Many injustices occurred, and many of them remain unresolved. Their consequences live on in ugly statistics about ethnic inequality. We must address this historical injustice. We must become a nation that is at peace with itself.